And we are
And
live again.
Whoop whoop.
yay, yay, we figured out like that Remy doesn't into internet, so now we know. And knowing it half the battle.
We're still dropping frames, so don't know why, but we are hardwired, so hopefully it'll do a little bit better.
And that's all that matters, as long as we can keep a constant connection, because we're not streaming any content at the moment. So besides us, we're just talking. So it should be all good.
I'll have you know I'm very content, sir.
Yep. What?
Oh, Apathy is actually asking an important question that we didn't put into the list that we should. Before we get back into talking about the stupid that is mainstream media and Nightline, the game that won the vote that we are going to be playing for the rest of the month is Skullgirls. So,
Yay.
we are going to get to drag fewer into the world of fighting games.
I don't know about you guys, but I like Jamie A. Rose's answer better. G.I. Joe! We'll play G.I. Joe. Like, not games, the action figures.
I'm gonna play.
The actual action figures.
So what, we're just gonna like cam each other with G.I. Joe action figures?
Yes! This
And
will
then you're
happen
like-
now.
But no. The only way you can do this is if you actually play the G.I. Joe as the character that's on their card. And you probably like, what do you mean by that? Well, like for example, like Flint from G.I. Joe, he was a warrant officer. So what you got to do is you got to walk around like, writing people warrants. You can't actually fight anybody. You're just like, hey, what are you doing? Oh, you're not in full military dress. Here's a warrant.
Oh God.
Anyway, that was some good light brevity.
Being or trying to be.
Yeah.
Still hard after that thing, but yes.
You're still what?
You heard me. I take nothing back.
I got to remember, Nick, that you are playing Barbie Game Girl. So,
Yeah. And chocolate.
Yeah,
So,
so- whatever gets you off, that's fine. But
Back on
to
track, guys.
Nightline. Not only did they have Anita on there, which is always just a bucket full of derp, and by the way, her jacket was from Gap. It cost $137. I looked it up. But they also had Brianna Wu, who was talking about being driven from her home and the threats that were made against her husband and things of that nature. Now, it's, the Brianna Wu that was driven from her home and feared going back to her home, that never actually left her home except to go to a convention. So, excellent fact checking on Nightline's part.
from what I
Such
understand,
amazing
the Brianna Wu segment was the segment taken from the Al Jazeera piece. So,
Which is still, video copy pasta could still be fact checked. That
what is with this? It's down again.
it is.
What?
I will message Hitbox and ask them what's going on, because it's not on my end. We are on the fastest FiOS on the internet.
Yeah.
So I will message Hitbox.
The chat says you're being silenced by the Illuminati. Nidoran was right.
Don't want to talk about that. Because
I want to talk about that. I'm sad.
we're not going to talk about that because triangles are not important.
But I love triangles, and I have
it's
an
funny
Eye of
'cause-
Horus tattoo, and I have a spiral tattoo, and I'm never in the Illuminati. Ever.
Getting back to Nightline.
Yes, I will deal with Hitbox.
Yeah, you talked to Headbox. I will keep talking because at least it's being recorded, ladies and gentlemen. You can catch the recording later. I apologize. But essentially, what is basically last night's report proved what I have been saying for 4 months, and that's why I wanted as many people as they could be listening, and I hope that people will be, listening to the re-recording on YouTube. This is why we need new media. This is exactly why. This narrative that they're pushing is a MSM narrative. They are all complicit in this. Their sources are each other. That's the problem. That is the absolute biggest problem in this entire thing. I reject their narrative. I have not harassed anybody involved in this scandal. That is not what this is about. This is absolutely, utterly, and profusely ridiculous. This is why everybody who is within the sound of my voice, if you have a talent, if you have an ability, if you have anything that you can bring to the table, bring it to the table and present it and put it out there and build the new media that we deserve.
What
Yes.
Optimus said.
Exactly.
Because
And
this
what's
is
that media that we deserve?
a fair and truthful media, one that reports on the facts, not on the feels.
Yes,
Pretty
agreed.
much. I mean, this is what's so infuriating. It's journalism itself as a whole, because like this isn't just a thing that happens in video games journalism. This is a symptom of a much larger problem with news media as a whole and its rapid decline. I mean, nobody's Dan Rather anymore. You know what I mean? It's not 1964, and
For
there's a
crying
fucking
out loud,
problem.
yeah, Dan Rather wasn't even Dan Rather anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. You know, that's what
I
I'm
guess
saying. That's
I guess a
what's
more apt comparison would be Walter Cronkite, because
yeah,
Ugh.
Cronkite.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
let's be honest. Like, because he told the truth, he basically turned the entire country against the Vietnam War. That
yeah,
is why we need people to tell the truth and not buy
and
into a fed narrative.
yeah, I mean, how it's infuriating, you know, when people try and tell the truth, you know, they get called, you know, anti-American or anti-Australian. It's happened here. We've had news reports about misconduct in the Navy and horrible things that have been going on. And our Prime Minister came out and said that it was extremely un-Australian for them to talk about it like that. You know, because it's disheartening to hear that that's what's happening in our armed forces. Well, no fucking shit. It's disgusting. You
Hmm.
know, and that's horrible. Um, it's just ridiculous. So, I think that we, as a like people, I guess, I need to just migrate away from this. I was reading this. There's a really smart dude, um, Chris von Scheffelvey. He's a statistician, scientist, number math genius, Russell Crowe, beautiful mind kind of dude, and he examined all 4 million of the Gamergate tweets and has some incredible data. But he's actually uh, at the end of his paper, he kind of put forth this notion that the disenchantment with traditional media is leading to the evolution of a trust and curation news network kind of thing, where people will say something and others will examine it and then they will kind of signal boost that, you know, so everyone kind of just was like, oh, huh, let's go see if this is legit. And then that gets passed on. And if it's, you know, legit and interesting, it gets floated to the top and a lot more people see it. Which is interesting and should be examined. But that's like I said, that's a symptom of the larger issue with news media as a whole. And I'm gonna stop talking about serious, complicated, weird stuff because that's not video. I'm sorry.
It's
Yes.
still, I mean, it's relevant to what we're discussing because,
Yeah.
Yes.
you know,
Probably. Can I? Okay, so I'm just gonna say this about the whole nightlife thing or Nightline thing, because I, for the most part, I've been apathetic. But the one thing that really got me was in their article, not their live segment, in their article, where they said that it's that FemFreak is fighting inherent misogyny in gaming culture. Okay, I don't know how many of you guys know words. Probably most of you know words real good. You word real good, guys. You use words good. But inherent means it's a permanent part of something. So these assholes just said that apparently sexism and misogyny are a permanent and intrinsic part of gaming culture. A, well then what's the point of trying to change it then? You can't. You've made it claim it's permanent. B, if that, I'm going to guess that's not what you mean, in which case, why did you use the word inherent? Do you not know how to use words? Apparently,
because they're
ABC Media
quoting
does not know
Anita.
how to into words.
No,
Yes.
that was in the video as well. Anita, they say that Anita claims there's an inherent misogyny in the video games industry.
Oh, well, in that
And-
case, it's Anita who doesn't know how to use words, and it's ABC's
No,
fault
of
for not
course
calling
not.
on it.
Of course, Anita and Jonathan McIntosh, her scriptwriter, we've all seen Josh's ability to, use language, and it's not that great. I mean, I guess that's kind of what happens when you're homeschooled by crazy fundies. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's all just ridiculous and hyperbolic, honestly. It was just a disgusting display, in my opinion. Oh.
And then again, I think if anybody follows me, y'all seen the tweet I made today about the description that ABC News used, and I know it was probably like was discussed, and it sounds like they were trying to be cute, and it's like, oh, this sounds techie, let's use it for the lulz and stuff. But I just find it funny considering who we're dealing with and the accusations that's been leveled against these people in the past. Is in an effort to reprogram the video game industry, many outspoken critics have faced horrifying backlash and threats. In an effort to reprogram the video game industry, in an effort to reprogram. What does that sound like?
Okay, it is actually Hitbox. It's not us. So we will struggle through, and I will make sure it gets uploaded to the YouTubes.
Okay, so yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is Hitbox that is being a shit. So we love you, Hitbox. Just to let you know.
It is not easy being a new company. We are supporting them from the ground up. And we'll continue to do so because they're really great with helping with the interaction with our watchers at the time that are watching live, as well as make it easy to upload later. So love you, Hitbox. Mwah. We'll get through little bumps in the road.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hitbox is kind of based anyway. They have nicer features than
Based Hitbox, more like hit based or based box.
what the fuck?
But yeah, the entire Nightline piece, the problem that really, and this, it keeps hitting me, Juju isn't a bad TV journalist. Like, these aren't people that I'm used to looking at and going, ugh. She's no Amanda Marcotte. Like, I actually have watched things that Juju has done and read things that she's written and agreed with her. And that's why it's so baffling to me, and I don't understand. We actively have Macintosh tweeting anti-Semitic things, who's tweeting pro-terrorism things, and I am almost 97% sure, is who booked Anita's time with Nightline. So even if he wasn't physically there, he was the one that did the scheduling. So I can't even wrap my mind around that. Like, how they can be so quick to name call and paint us into a corner and work with that guy who just has no shame in what he does.
Mm-hmm. For a lot of reasons. This man is shameless. Like, during the whole Charlie Hebdo thing, he's been tweeting out that it's all racist and horrible stuff. And it's, to which I responded by linking a fantastic article from people further left than probably Jonathan McIntosh. And really, I don't think he's actually all that left. I think he's just a con artist. But actual leftists saying that actually if you read the French, you'll find it's not racist at all, and that this is full of shit. This whole argument's full of shit. That's not true, and freedom of speech is key. So it's just, he has no leg to stand on in any of his positions. But of course, he will continue to deny that to the day he dies by blocking everyone who disagrees with him. So have fun blocking the world, Johnny Pie, and go just sit in your room and stop talking, please.
No.
Or Daddy will take away your trust fund.
He's absolutely in his right to speak. I mean, he's also, he also has to realize that people can call him a moron for speaking the way he does.
Right, which is why I
And
told him to go to his room, because I don't think his fragile ego can handle that.
you're
He
probably
has every
right.
right to speak, but
Yeah.
I don't think it'll be good for his health.
Yeah. I mean, obviously he can't take criticism at all because he'll instantly block anybody who, makes um, comment, a comment that is negative towards him, instantly. So
Hmm.
I just
Mm.
people like that you can't. I would, I almost said like, when you're dealing with ideologues, but at the same time, you mentioned it earlier, a con artist, and I think you're pretty much on the money with that. It's like I said, I've said it before. Josh was, doing stuff, back in the late 2000s. The first part, the later part of that decade, and then he disappeared for 2 years, and next thing you know, fem frequency. And I'm
Oh
using
yeah, I
and I'm
mean,
doing jazz hands when I said that. But
Frequency.
yeah. Look, he's one of those. It doesn't even matter, what the fuck he is. He's just
and
look.
to go ahead. Go ahead.
Sorry.
No,
Yeah,
it's
I
fine.
was gonna say, I don't have a problem with Anita saying whatever the fuck she wants. I don't have a problem with anyone saying whatever the fuck they want, as long as they understand that people are gonna call them out and criticize them and shoot them down for being fucking retarded. You know, it's my right to say you're fucking retarded when it's also your right to say whatever the fuck bullshit you want. That's my problem, is that people see this criticism and saying, oh, hi, hey, that study you cited, here's the entire thing and the conclusion. You're wrong. And you know you're wrong. So why are you lying? And what happens then? We get called harassers. We're a fucking sea lion. Go fuck yourself for this sea lion shit. Anyway, I'm sorry. That's
No,
the end of my story. Everyone can say whatever the fuck they want. I'm not saying don't say it. I'm just saying that you're gonna get fucked up if you say bullshit.
and to go on, it was a tweet I made last night, and I'm going to go ahead and just bring it before everybody for a quote unquote movement, and y'all know my feelings on that. Um, because it's not a movement, it's a scandal, and that community has spawned because of it. But anyway, for a quote unquote hate movement that wants to drive women from the industry with its misogyny, the fact that this quote unquote movement funded the Fine Young Capitalist, funded Based Gamer, ran by a woman, and has been in strong support of a female game dev, we suck at driving women out of the game industry.
Yeah, we're terrible misogynists, guys. We're really bad at being
We need to
hate
go to
monsters.
misogyny school because we are horrible. We are horrible, horrible women haters. I mean, I just don't understand.
No,
Well,
no, no, no.
and I
We're not. No, no, no. We're not horrible women haters. We're horrible at being women haters.
Oh, got it.
and I was tweeting to Juju and ABC today asking them like why I'm invisible, why all of the women that I tweet with every day are completely invisible to them. We had one really awesome young lady who is an active supporter of Gamergate who is changing how she is going to be doing her work and things like that. She was just being honest and very self deprecating about how she viewed her success so far. And all of the comments were other women who are actively facets of the gaming industry. And all of us participate in the hashtag, but we're invisible, we don't count, we don't exist, and it just baffles the heck out of me. And of course I didn't get a response to my tweet, but um it's upsetting to me that they can't see us at all.
It doesn't make any sense at all. That's why I you know keep screaming new media. We need new media, guys. Uh, whatever differences you guys might have out there, it's not more important than telling the truth, and that's why there needs to be a fucking renaissance at this point. We need new media. We need new gaming sites. We need new YouTubers. We need new just about everything, guys. It's gotten bad. It's really bad when we can't find the truth anymore because they either want to cover it up because they're complicit in it or just don't want to report on it because that doesn't fit a narrative or just because it wouldn't make a good headline. So that's why I'm, putting the call out there. You need to put it all aside. Get back to, discovering what caused this. Get back to putting these people in the light where they belong because they've been scurrying like rats for the last few months and even years at this point. And you need to starve them on the vine. Don't go to their sites. Don't give them the time of day once they're drug out into the light. Be done with it. We need to build from within at this point. The gaming community, and I'm talking about the entire gaming community, not the one that's, not the subside of whatever, spawned from the Gamergate scandal. I'm talking about everything has to build from within. We need to create our own media at this point. Yes. And that's absolutely what must happen because the mainstream media is complicit now in the scandal, and they are not going to tell the truth.
Yes, and you know what? Something just popped up on my feed that I would actually like to touch on because it kind of relates to this new media and stuff, and how we're not hateful people. Look, so here's this article just came in on IGN. I'll probably link it to the Hitbox people for those to see. This article is titled "The Rise of Indigenous Storytelling in Games." It's about basically Native American stories and being told in games and getting a voice through games. That's fucking awesome. That's amazing. You're bringing old stories and pieces of their culture that we thought we never would possibly die out, and you're bringing them to a medium that will keep them alive. That's the most amazing and freaking awesome thing I've ever seen. And I'm totally open to this. I don't want things to just be nothing but white, bland people and all that shit. I don't want the same old Call of Duty day in, day out. That's not what I want. I want diversity. I want to see these ideas. I fucking think this is awesome. I'll link it to the group and I'll put it on the Hitbox thing. I don't know how much you guys are seeing, but there's that. Just check that thing out. That sounds amazing. And just for crying out loud, this is the kind of things I like to see. I'm all for seeing diverse games. What I don't like is being told that I'm a horrible, horrible human being for liking the things that I do like. And that's what is happening. And that's annoying the crap out of me.
Ladies.
Gentlemen.
No, but I agree. We don't want the same awful bland crap. And we're disenchanted with the industry as a whole, I think. I mean, there is a market for, of course, the Call of Duties and all that other nonsense. But there's also the market for interesting, Journey. There are so many other things that we want and we latch onto because we crave that new and innovative and interesting and important content. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. So, yeah, that's all I have to say about it.
So, now that we've thoroughly, I think we've pretty much thoroughly dismantled the quote unquote story of that Nightline put forward yesterday. It's time to move on to another topic that was very hot.
Oh boy, PC gamer, how I love you so. Right when I thought everybody was so distracted and not going to pay attention and we were all factioning off into little things, PC Gamer put out a story about PC Master Race. And they did label it as an opinion piece. Well done, PC Gamer. It is by Tyler Wilde, and it says, "Let's stop calling ourselves the PC Master Race." And it's basically about how Tyler's super uncomfortable, I think, in life, but he was especially uncomfortable with Nazi terminology and words and things being used, and how it began as a joke, and mocking PC gamers and how it was reappropriated and all of that, he still is just really, really, really uncomfortable. They did, props to them, decide to tag the piece of art from The Escapist, so they at least didn't steal the art, though they possibly stole the opinion. Um, and I guess Tyler learned don't mess with PC gamers because after posting this, we discovered, well, we didn't, Farts, who is the most amazing researcher on the planet, holy crap,
Hmm.
um, went digging into Tyler or Mr. Wild's life, and he is quite literally in bed and cohabitating with Ubisoft. So I will let you guys share thoughts and feels and love for Fart's timeline.
This is quite. I love Fart. I would. I said it before to him. I'd say it again. I would stand back to back with him against the world. But that discovery might very well be bigger than Game Journos Pro, because those were about them being on a mailing list coordinating stories. Here we have a sexual relationship between a AAA company and a journalist. That's this is to me more like going home. Like this is not gone home to clarify. Going home. Like we are returning to where we should have been from the day one. I think, in the sense that it's the freaking AAA scene plus the journalists that I think are our biggest threat. Not that AAAs are a problem, but when they're in bed with journalists, no muss. That's worse to me than any indie dev in bed with a journalist,
Well, and
because
let's
that's where you
clarify,
have huge
she's not a
problems.
developer. She is quite literally in marketing and communications with
Mhm.
Ubisoft. So she is the in the department that is contacting the press to get reviews done, to get publications to write about Ubisoft and things like that. Farts went through and did wonderful screen caps of all of Wild's stories that had to do with Ubisoft. And obviously, we can't prove that they're, sitting at the breakfast table over coffee talking about things that are being offered to Mr. Wild to write about. But it is hard to imagine that these conversations haven't occurred.
Okay, here's what people need to understand, and I want to make this very, very clear, okay? When you are a journalist, you must avoid the appearance of conflict of interest. Did you hear that word? Appearance. Okay? Appearance. That is so fucking important and what people don't seem to fucking understand. It doesn't matter if they never actually discussed business ever. Okay? There is an appearance of conflict of interest. He has written about Ubisoft titles while being in a romantic relationship with one of their PR media communications officers. Okay? That's what the problem was when we found out that Patricia Hernandez of Kotaku had written about her former girlfriends and roommates and friends. That is a problem when we find out that Nathan Grayson was a beta tester on a video game for a girl that he was sleeping with. That is a problem when we find out all of these things and there is no disclosure because that offers the appearance of conflict of interest. Okay, it doesn't matter if nobody colluded. What matters is the appearance because it removes that trust. There is no trust when we can sit there and go, oh, hey, maybe they did this and that. We can't know. And who are we going to believe? Going to believe you? No, of course not. Sorry.
That's okay. That's a good point.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
what people are not understanding. They keep yelling that, oh, nobody ever did XYZ. They're just, friends, or they're just girlfriend and boyfriend, or this person who is the editor in chief of this Australian gaming magazine is just married to the head of the Australian branch of this huge company, and the magazine just helped this huge company cover up the identity theft of 40,000 customers. That's totally not a conflict of interest at all, anywhere, ever.
Hmm. Sucks is right on the money there, guys. It's like, well, I don't need to tell you that. You guys know that. It's amazing. This is the thing. I can't stress that enough. It's not just even doesn't even matter so much that if there was or not. You gave the appearance. So it even if there was no corruption, all it took was enough appearances of corruption to piss off 150,000 people and impact your sales. Smooth going, dipshits. Holy fuck. Like,
Honestly,
how
yeah.
hard is it to say sorry, won't do it again, and not do it again, and then this whole thing would have gone away?
Look, here's what would have happened. This wouldn't be happening if you just had a little note that said, disclosure, person writing the thing is a personal friend of person in the article, or person writing the thing is the husband, wife, girlfriend, brother-in-law, whatever the fuck. There's a personal relationship. That's all you need to put there. That's all you needed to do. But apparently that's an invasion of privacy. Fuck you. You're supposed to be a journalist. You have to take the necessary steps in order to actually call yourself that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm shush now. You guys
Okay,
talk.
Remy, go.
I'm I'm actually being quiet because I'm talking to a quote unquote journalist. So you guys carry on. Um,
Okay.
Do digging and contact making during our show. What is this?
I can't control the internet. I do not
Yes,
have
you
this
can. Total
power.
Biscuit doesn't start talking to get people about, oh, hey, want this peer-reviewed copy in the middle of the co-optional podcast? What are you doing?
Well, he might. I mean, we just don't see that.
I think not.
Okay. Did we
But for
touch on?
different reasons, because I think with the chemo and stuff, he can only really focus on
Yeah.
one thing at a time.
No, I think for
Right on.
me the biggest thing with number one with PC Gamer as a press place, the cockiness of their writers has always made me giggle. I am full disclosure friends with somebody who was on staff there, and he is a butthead. Like he is just thinks he is God's gift to writing, and every word that he writes is absolutely golden. And
Boy, isn't that funny from the people who bash PC Master Race, eh? They think that's
um
just the gift of the world.
he I don't know if it's something that necessarily everybody that he works with feels, but reading through Wild's pieces, it seems to be an underlying thing that they're just awesome. And so there's that. And then you get into you have upper management at Ubisoft tweeting with these two and fully aware of their relationship. I have a hard time believing that the upper ups at PC Gamer were not aware of it. So it boggles the mind if this was banking, um,
Mhm.
how people would react if this was coming out. And then we had people today telling us that, oh, the gaming media has always been corrupt, so this isn't a big deal, kind
What?
of thing. Well,
4 months ago, it was, that's not corrupt. You're crazy. Now it's always been. Oh my god.
consistent storytelling by those on the other side is hard to get. But yeah, it baffles to me how brazen everybody is in this industry. And now that we're looking outside of indie and actually looking at AAA, um,
I'm gonna find a lot.
Uh,
and there is going to be, you fall in love at work, you fall in love at conventions, there's song after song about convention girlfriends and things like that, and that's okay, but then you don't write about your girlfriend or your boyfriend's workplace. It's so simple, it's super
Oh,
super
but Remy,
simple.
girlfriend and boyfriend are problematic words, didn't you know?
Oh, my bad, oops, I'm oppressing people, I'm bad, I sorry.
so did we have we touched on what PC Gamer did in response to these allegations that started popping up about his
We
improprieties?
haven't, and this might cause a bit of a rift, but we'll go.
Why would it cause a rift? Because I think we kind of agree. I mean, Socks, I'm going to summon some of your power for a second, um, if you don't mind.
Oh, of course.
The thing is, okay, when this allegation started popping up after he wrote this article, and then the allegations started coming up about his possible improprieties with Ubisoft, the PC Gamer started pulling articles off of the website that he had written about Ubisoft. And my thing is, and this is where I will summon my best Socks impersonation. What the fuck? You are called PC Gamer. How the fuck do you think you're going to get away with deleting something, you fucking morons? On the internet.
And this is where the rift comes in, because I saw an interesting thought on the Kotaku in Action feed earlier today that said that, hold on, everybody, they might be taking this stuff down and preparing to update with contracts and stuff. And this was at the start of the day, and maybe when he comes into work today, there'll be major changes or something. So we'll have to see.
It's still,
but it's a little scummy.
It's still.
They might also just be getting rid. They might also just throw him the fuck out. Who knows?
It's I mean, the thing is, like, don't try to hide it at this point.
No.
Yeah, you know, you done been got
caught red-handed. Own your shit.
Yeah, as we say in the South, you done been got. You can't just hide it. You're right there in plain sight. You know, like I said, once again, you know, they scurry like rats when the lights are shined on them. No. You know, that's why we have archive sites. You know, we know exactly what's going on. Don't try to hide it. You know, just own up to it. Like we said, if you just own up to this shit, it wouldn't be an issue. But no, nobody wants to own up to nothing. They want to hide and, you know, be coy and pretend like it didn't happen. Like stick their ears in their, or stick their fingers in their ears. God damn it, and say la 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 la.
Yeah, people don't like being told what they've been doing for decades is wrong and gross.
How dare
Especially when it's not. Especially when you have no evidence it is.
Mm-hmm. I actually
keep insisting.
But
then again, hold on, but then again, to these people, the misogyny is inherent.
That's right. I forgot about that.
I meant in response to running and hiding like rats.
Okay.
Yeah, the gaming press don't like being told that what they've been doing since the 90s is wrong and gross.
Oh yeah. Well, you know what they say.
You've never been called on it before? Fuck you. You're getting called now.
You know what they say.
What do they say?
Being wrong and gross is an inherent part of games journalism, apparently.
Oh yeah, you're right. I totally forgot about that.
Oh, inherent corruption. Oh darn.
So did you just use their logic against them?
Dismantle it just like that.
Did you just use their logic against them?
Maybe I did.
I think you just did.
Of course, they would be like, oh,
mm-hmm.
in some form or fashion.
So you're saying that that gaming news journalism could be inherently corrupt.
Corrupt. What a concept. And you know what else? Optimus?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a little bit problematic.
Oh
no. Problematic. We can't have that then.
Like it definitely goes back to what Sock said. That is the issue. And
like, guess what? Most of the mainstream fucking news, they at least are good at covering up the appearance of their corruption. They're corrupt as fuck. We all know it. They at least do a good job of hiding it sometimes.
Fewer, buddy, your microphone's freaking out.
Oh no. No. Okay.
Yeah, just jiggle it a little bit. Should be fine.
Yeah. Get some duct tape. You'll be right.
Yeah. Just duct tape. It's fine.
Walk it off. How's that?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're fine now.
Good. I walked it off. It's okay.
Okay. Well, it's still doing it.
No, it's doing its thing now.
Okay, how about there?
Talk again.
Hello. Words.
It's kind of like doing it when you talk, so it's kind of weird.
For crying out loud.
Try popping it out and back in while we fill time.
Just go on.
No.
I like how ridiculously sexual all of this has sounded. Just wanna Put that out there real quick. Just, shake it a little bit, pop it in and out. Um, so actually, I think that this might
Like
be a good
me
point
popping things in and out.
for Socks to talk about the seeming ridiculous that is going on down under. Um,
Mhm.
and since you are our wealth of information about that, and that you guys are getting okay from devs to pirate games, I love it.
Yeah. This is what's been happening. God. Hotline Miami 2, wrong number, has been refused classification here in Australia, which is essentially a ban from sale, unless they, remove some of the offensive content. Now let me pull this up here 1 second. Right. Here's the refused classification notice. All right, and I will put a link to this. I will give Remy a link for this, so she can put it in the YouTube stream later, the upload later. Here's the reason. Reason 1A. The computer game is classified RC in accordance with the National Classification Code, Computer Games Table 1. A. As a computer game that depicts, express, or otherwise uh, as computer games that depict, express, or otherwise deal with matters of sex, drugs, drug misuse or addiction, crime, cruelty, violence, or revolting or abhorrent phenomena in such a way that they offend against the standards of morality, decency, and propriety generally accepted by reasonable adults to the extent that they should not be classified. So
That is a
basically,
stupid fucking law.
oh, it's one of the standards in the classification code, and it's fucking ridiculous. I was part of the big campaign to push for the R18 rating for video games.
Mhm.
So, and we fought for so long. I fought for like a decade to get that rating for video games because I was sick of games I wanted to play being banned in Australia because they offended someone's moral decency, um, and sorry, I lost my brain train.
I hate it when
um,
that happens.
yeah,
Your brain missed the 310 to Yuma, apparently. Sorry.
exactly. God,
That's for you, Marco, you son of a
fuck's
bitch.
sake. Oh, 310 to you. We really just do that. Okay.
Yeah, you just did that. It happened. Deal with it.
Okay. Yeah. Uh, but yeah, it's been a running trend here in Australia. We have something called the Australian Christian Lobby, and they fought and have successfully banned Mortal Kombat several times here in Australia. Um, it's a bit ridiculous. It's the think of the children kind of thing. And when we did get the R18 rating, it was essentially defanged, I guess, by the ACL and other lobby groups, uh, who just basically made it a glorified MA rating. Um, Games like Last of Us, Saints Row 4, and Grand Theft Auto 5 had to be edited in order to even be considered for an R18 rating. So, what's the point of having it when it's basically just an MA15 rating? And it's absolutely infuriating for me. And for the developers, I can't imagine it being that great because people are asking you to censor your art because it offends some old dude's morality.
Yes.
And it's not even some old dude anymore. It's the politically correct, trendy left who are offended by the 16-bit graphics in Hotline Miami and what there is a simulated what appears to be like some sort of rape scene in the game, and that's what apparently is the most objectionable thing in the whole game.
Because
Uh
how dare we show games that depict a gritty version of reality? How dare we try and educate people about the darker sides of our culture so that we can maybe change something? How dare we? How dare we? Who do we think we are
Yeah, I
trying to
know,
improve
right?
society by improving, exposing awareness and actually making these things change? So people go, huh, let's keep this in games and not in the fucking real world.
Yeah. But of course, shining any light on actual issues without, screaming about it and, shooting a fire hydrant at somebody or something, is fire extinguisher. That's what it was, a fire extinguisher. Um, that's
What is
apparently
that
the
story?
wrong
I,
way to
I would
do it.
like to see somebody shoot an entire fire hydrant.
Yeah.
That would be impressive.
I could just see that rather you try and shoot the water from the hydrant out, instead you just blow the hydrant at them by mistake.
Oh
More
man. Oh,
importantly,
look.
what's this story of a fire extinguisher, and why should you tell it on live on stream right now?
Oh,
Because you
you
should.
did? You don't know about this? It was some.
Fucking go
It was.
on and tell it
Oh,
already.
for fuck's sake. Okay. This happened a couple of years ago. There was like, um, some men's rights dude was talking about giving a talk at a university, and before they could even do it, uh, someone hosed him down with a fire extinguisher. And that's yeah. I have to go dig it up. I don't remember where that happened, but yeah, I will dig it up for you. But someone got accosted with a fire
Because
extinguisher.
in our institutes of higher learning, dissenting opinions must be sprayed out with fire extinguishers.
Exactly. Spray some
I
CO2
am
on
all
that.
mocking things to mercilessly, including really stupid ideas. It's why have made it a lifelong passion to try and refute conspiracy theories where I find them. It's why I even got in a fight with my cousin's family friend, to the point where that they were like calling me sheeple and shit because I told them they're a fucking moron and they're gonna kill their kids because they're an anti-vaxxer. I
Oh
am
wow. Yeah.
no bones about calling people idiots, uh, but you don't do it that way. You do
No.
it by being an intellectual. You do it by saying, hey, I heard this. You're wrong on this point, this point, this point. Here is exactly why. And then you wait for the response and you leave
No.
there knowing that you've presented counterpoints that successfully make your argument. That's how you
Exactly.
debate.
Can't do
That's how
that.
you conduct yourself in an academic environment. This is ridiculous.
Oh
Fire
yeah.
extinguisher.
Yeah, yeah. But that's what I'm that's kind of the thing though, is that this censorship and this suppression of freedom of expression and giving people the option to explore issues and depict issues the way they want to depict them, uh, that's frustrating beyond anything I could possibly explain and express to people. And I would probably have that expression, if I could find it, suppressed by people who didn't like the way I did it. Um, this Hotline Miami thing is just another example of Australia's just blatant think of the children and the women's. Uh,
Quick question, Sucks.
hmm.
Um, what was Labor's thought on all of this? The Labor Party.
Oh, very, very similar. We have a very, it's kind of like a unified, think of the children kind of thing across both
God
parties.
damn it, Labor! You just
Yeah, yeah.
Labor's been a good party, other than that crap. Yes
Oh,
or no? You
it's
probably know more
not
about your
not
country.
not
Oh,
entirely. I think uh, our two major political parties, the Liberals, which oddly enough is the right wing party, and the Labour Party, which is the
liberal.
left party. Yeah. Um. Uh. uh Blah. They've homogenized so much that they have very few ideological differences now, but
That's
they're still rabidly opposed to each other, which, is frustrating. Um,
what
but it does appear that the Liberal Party does enjoy punishing the lowest of the low on the social ladder. And as being one of the victims of that myself, thank you, Mr. Prime Minister. Um, fuck you very
yeah,
much.
he's a giant dick.
Pretty much. All women should be at home at 11 a.m. doing the ironing.
I am going to send you videos mocking Tony Abbott now because they're out there and I've seen them and I love them.
Yeah, he's a shit. Anyway, I know we're totally off topic now.
Nope, that's okay. It's
No,
all tied.
I think it ties in, honestly.
Yeah, it does. It does. My prime minister is a legit misogynist. You want to see a misogynist? This is my fucking prime minister.
Well, that's
Isn't it?
good
Okay.
because hey, it all works out. Your prime minister is a misogynist. My president is a
From
fucking
us.
retard. Anyway,
Apparently too. So it's like, wow.
Yeah. Oh, get this.
And
My
Wayne, to be
prime
fair,
minister.
your entire federal government is full of retards.
you're not gonna get no argument there.
Sorry. Yeah.
Oh, but I used a problematic word. Sorry.
You did. I was about to call you on it.
Okay, let me rephrase that then. Your entire federal government is developmentally challenged. They belong in freaking special education programs to actually learn how to be human beings.
Just
Wow,
as long
are
as they're
you
not in
saying-
classes with me, because then I would get really upset and probably get
Yeah.
kicked out of class.
God. Anyway,
Ted
how
Cruz
long did it
predicted
need
funny.
Australia banned Hotline Miami? Until it's either edited or, whatever to meet the fucking standards of these complete idiotic puritanical morons. But in other news, related, the developers of Hotline Miami basically said that any Australian who wants their game but can't get it because it gets banned here can just pirate it. They flat out just said, "Hey, just pirate our game." So
Wow.
That
I love
is-
you, Hotline Miami devs.
That's actually.
I also
tremendous.
really liked Hotline Miami. It was one of my favorites. I thought it was very Hong Kong blood opera, Andy Lau. It was awesome.
It is very funny to me that a dev would straight up say, "Yeah, go pirate it. It's fine, as long as you get to play it."
Yeah, we don't want your money. He literally said, "Don't worry about giving us money. Just pirate it if it gets banned in Australia."
That is tremendous. That
Yeah.
would send that. But honestly, that would be the ultimate statement of
If they had a major publisher like EA or something, they would have a fucking conniption.
yeah. There would be a collection of brand new herd cows being born right now
Yeah.
because you said what? Do they self pub? I can't. Pretty sure. They
Yeah, I think so.
do. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they self pub.
Dirty
But yeah, it's
self-publishers. I hope they all die. No, not really. Self-publishers are great.
look, you filthy misogynist. What have I told you about that thing you just did? Don't do it. No.
That I should do it better and faster next time? Okay.
Oh, well, you're. Yes, absolutely. Wait, this is getting weird.
Wade's like, I don't know what I just consented to, but okay.
I'm like,
Oh.
you know what? Just go with it.
I did want to say this in relation to the Hotline Miami thing. There are articles praising the ban and commenters fully supporting the ban of this game. Specifically, the Kotaku article.
No
Oh,
kidding.
Kotaku.
I have to know
I
who
know,
wrote it.
I swear to God, sometimes these people just need to be sat down and lectured about what life is actually like.
I need to know who
And then
wrote the Kotaku article.
told her-
I must
Yeah.
know this for my life. My life is not complete.
I will find it for you.
I appreciate it.
You know what?
But-
You know what I'm hoping for?
You know who I'm hoping you get it.
PH.
PH. What?
Hernandez.
Oh. Yeah, her or the other interesting individual.
Oh God, wouldn't it be funny if it was Luke Plunkett?
If it's Luke Plunkett, I mean, God. There has never been, out of all the people on that staff and, all the ones in propriety, the only one that I really see is a true goddamn moron is fucking Luke Plunkett. I honestly, he was dropped on his head as a child because there's no, and he was just, I've never seen somebody who makes it.
Was it
Actually-
Andy who did it?
No, it was Mark Serrels who wrote it.
Oh. Well, he's just as bad as the rest of them, but
Yes, Hotline Miami 2 refused classification because of an implied rape scene.
implied.
What?
Implied.
Implied.
Implied scenes.
Yeah, let me read to you. In the sequence of gameplay footage titled Midnight Animal, the protagonist character bursts into what appears to be a movie set and explicitly kills four people who collapse to the floor in a
So they
pool of
explicitly kill four people. Okay, just
yes,
clarifying that. Okay, so four people
explicitly
explicitly killed. Carry on.
who collapses to the floor in a pool of copious blood, often accompanied by blood splatter. After stomping on the head of a fifth male character, he strikes a female character wearing red underwear. She is knocked to the floor and is viewed lying face down in a pool of copious blood. The male character is viewed with his pants halfway down, partially exposing his buttocks. He is viewed pinning the female down by the arms and lying on top of her, thrusting, implicitly raping her, either rear entry or anally, while her legs are viewed as kicking as she struggles beneath him.
So
The
hold on.
visual depiction, yeah.
Hold on. So, explicitly kills four people.
hmm
That's not the problem.
No.
Implicitly rapes somebody. That's
Yes.
the problem.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
This visual depiction of implied sexual violence is emphasized by it being mid-screen, one sec, with a red backdrop pulsating and the reminder of the screen being surrounded by black. Now go on.
It floors me. Implied sexual violence is now apparently worse than actual fucking murder. Like that, because again, in case you noticed, it's not the violence part of any of that put them off. It's the fact that there was an implied rape scene. Granted, it sounds very much like that's exactly what they're going for. At the same time, it's trying to be gritty and edgy. So we have something trying to be gritty and edgy, and then we have murder, and it's the gritty, edgy thing that's the bad thing. What?
And the commenters, absolute 100% correct decision. Implied? Yeah, it seems more than just just implied. Oh, goodness. Yeah, so then there's like dozens and dozens of comments on this Kotaku article saying, "Oh yeah, great decision to ban this game."
Because people won't know, or are too stupid to decide for themselves whether or not they want to buy the game with the implied rape scene.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. No.
Because, just allowing it normalizes
You have
rape.
to flat out take away the right for them to even buy it. Because apparently people can't be trusted with themselves.
Because if they play that and they play that scene, then they are rapists. I mean, didn't you know?
I mean,
yeah.
just killing females in MMOs is, a form of rape now, so.
Remy.
Yeah, I was in Warsong Gulch the other day and I killed this one female night elf. And
Zox! Wait,
I
wow
don't
again?
know.
Yeah.
I'm talking.
Why you no say nothing, and why you no join us?
Because she's
Because she's Aussie.
yeah, and also
I
the fact
was
that she's
on Aussie server. So fucking what?
but also she's talking about something else. So shut up.
Okay, back to stuff. Sorry.
I don't even. Oh yeah, I killed
Warsong
this
Gulch.
female night elf. Yeah, in Warsong Gulch, and I instantly became a rapist murderer.
No.
Oh,
What happens was you implicitly unzipped your pants, and then it just laid on top of her.
Wait, I have to.
Oh
know
no! Wait, no, I'm not a rapist because women can't be rapists.
Oh, that's right.
Ah.
What and
Oh,
what
jeez.
and what race were you, if I may ask?
I am I'm a panda.
Oh well, then obviously.
Oh,
because
so
they're
you
fluffy and
definitely
cute.
can't be. You definitely can't. Not only can you never be a rapist, you can't be a racist either.
Yeah.
No, because I am ethnically a panda, a
Okay.
red panda.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah,
And we know that those.
Okay.
And
Okay,
we know. Wait.
I'm
And we
calling
noted
bullshit
though.
on that. There ain't no red pandas you can play as.
Yes, yes, you can. Um,
Play as.
yes, you can.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, I guess they're the skin color, but that's not the red panda. Never mind.
No. The female
And I
pandas
get
have
a, and I
tails.
get a tail. Yeah.
Yeah. They got the males don't have the tail. Anyway, we're getting off subject. But what I was saying was that because also she's a panda, she's a filthy neutral. So
Mm-hmm. I'm
even though you joined the
literally
horde, you're still a neutral.
Switzerland. Yeah, I'm literally Switzerland. And I hide Nazi gold.
All this implication.
Mm.
Can we talk about Nathan Grayson now?
Yes.
I think that's a
You
good.
sound so like, Mommy, Daddy, can you please stop fighting?
I followed Nathan on Twitter for a long time. Like he is a funny guy.
Why?
And he tweets funny things. And he didn't always used to be Nathan Grayson. You know,
Wait. Oh,
he used to just be a writer whose writing I liked, and then he evolved into and N. So Milo is writing a book about Gamergate, and everybody has different feelings about this, and everybody's welcome to have their feelings. But he is a professional writer, and this is how he makes his income. Boo-hoo. He's writing a book about Gamergate, and he wrote this absolutely wonderfully professional email that he's basically sent to everyone involved with very similar wording, saying everyone that's actually involved, by the way, not just the self-inserters, saying, hi, I'm writing this book. I would like to have all views expressed in it. Anybody who's heard Milo interact vocally with Anti-Gamergate knows that he is fair in dealing with them. He doesn't go off the deep end. I've heard him get screamed over a few times, but it was a nice professional email. Nathan Grayson wrote him back. Well, first Nathan took to Facebook, and Nathan has a lot of Facebook friends. He likes to have friends on Facebook. He digs social media. And some
Of course
Mm-hmm.
he is. It's the only chance. It's the only chance where he ever feels like he actually has friends.
He so he posted on Facebook and was posted it up and was like, I'm trying to write the meanest possible email response to
How
him.
professional of you, Jason. Or
Yes,
Nate.
and Lee Alexander responded being
Lee Alexander.
being herself and something about, she's older than Milo, so she was going to use like a mommy tone and all of this other stuff,
Again.
which led to questions in my mind of how old's Milo, but that wasn't really important. What's more important is these people are professionals, and this is their response to a professional request from an actual journalist. And it got me thinking, for instance, Lee Alexander saying that she didn't want to give credence to Milo's career. She writes for a trade journal. Like, that's it. That's what she does. She writes, if we look at Gama Sutra as what it was meant to be, it is nothing more than a trade journal. That's her,
Oh, she runs a consulting company. Don't forget.
oh, bleh.
Yeah. Oh no, don't worry,
And-
Lee.
and-
We didn't forget that little conflict of interest of yours. That's still there. We know.
Agency for games.
So Nathan writes this scalding, absolutely meanie pants email back
It
that
was so terrible.
anybody who knows me, I could have written an angrier, meaner email. Like it
He was trying
sad.
to be mean, and then he just gave up and decided to be preachy, like
It-
save your soul kind of preachy shit. It's
it-
like
It was depressing, and then I took it to be that he was like writing this, he was getting help, and somebody else wrote it, and he copied and pasted and left a little bit at the end, because I think that and N is an and Nathan, as in this is more advice for what you should write.
Or it could have been and no, like he was answering like I'm not, and no, like I'm not going to.
I think that's giving him too much credit, like you wrote it
This is true.
yourself.
This is true.
But there's a lot of different theories as to what caused the and in at the end. But the basic thing is that he sent an email that after his little signature is and N. He couldn't even edit an email to another journalist. Wah, wah.
Yep.
Now
Oh, Nathan.
let's talk about his moral outrage after his
Yep.
email. um, how dare Milo Yiannopoulos, a real journalist, show a private email after his private email was shown on Facebook? How
Yeah.
dare he?
How dare Milo Yiannopoulos expose me, a clearly professional writer, responding to his professional email in a very juvenile and childish and moronic fashion. How dare he expose that I'm really a petulant little brat who doesn't know shit about life and thinks that he's king of the world. How dare he expose how fucking shallow and pathetic I am as a human being. Who does he think he is? A journalist?
Let me see. Hold on, I gotta check something. When did Socks move to Canada and change her name to Nick? That sounded like a Socks response, and it was
I am
tremendous.
sorry. I have little patience for moral crusaders, and I have even less patience for moral crusaders with trust funds, and even less patience for scummy journalists who think that they're being impressive when really they're being sad, pathetic wastes of semen.
Wow.
And oh, he even went to his blog. Nathan, you're bless your little special
You
heart.
little baby, Nathan, you are older
Isn't that
than
the
me.
blog also that is supplied to him by Gawker?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay.
Nathan, you are older than me in age, but boy, you are a child in your mind. I am
He's
so
not older
sorry.
than me, and I'm gonna tell him you're a fucking goddamn child. So
He
You
uses
don't know what integrity
caps.
looks like, Nathan, and it
Oh,
makes
he
me very
took the
sad to
end
see.
in out when he posted it on his blog. I don't know why
of
that made
course
me
he did
clap.
because he didn't want to look like a fucking moron to his followers.
Oh, no, they already know he looks like a moron. They just don't care. And this is just more for future reference, so he doesn't look like a moron in the future.
Yeah.
But guess what, Nathan? It wasn't that made you look like an idiot. It really wasn't. It
No.
wasn't the end on the end that made you look stupid. That was just the punch of the joke. The part that
Update.
made you look stupid was the entire email. That's what made you look stupid. Because it was stupid and you're an idiot. You
Um,
are a hackless, talentless sack of human shit. And you
he's
should not be working
he
in this
said
industry.
in his update, it's worth noting that I did post a screen cap of Milo's email to a handful of my Facebook friends.
Who happen to
Now,
be
one of these friends, and he doesn't say this, he does say that that was legitimately a poopy thing for me to do on my part, and I publicly apologize for that. Admittedly, Milo then leaked the leak and tons of my stuff to his 40K Twitter followers, so I don't think he really cares that it got out there, nor about practicing what he preaches. He also his email is easily found on his website contact.
It wasn't even that you shared Milo's email. We're not mad at that. What we find stupid is just how petulant and childish your response was. That's what you should be embarrassed and ashamed of, because you were a child. You behaved like a child to a professional. You don't know how to act professional, even though you try and claim you are. You don't know what being professional is, sir. So grow the fuck up. Find a new line of work until you actually know how to be a professional. Then get back into it.
I don't
Because
think
guess
that he
what?
could
You
work as
are
like a barista and be taken seriously in his line of work at this point. Um, but yes, his angry response I will happily post because there are winning lines such as, and all the while you flip-flopped and flip-flopped and flip-flopped 3 times. It makes it more scary. He
Mhm.
uses caps lock. He does, and I will admit he does things that I used to do in my early 20s when I was writing, where he uses lots of overuse of commas and things
He's
like
not in
that.
his early 20s anymore either.
He, I want him to be like 12 in my head because it makes how he writes less ouchy. Um, but yeah, Nathan, he
Grow
breaks
the
my
fuck
heart.
up.
He really does. Yeah. He has embraced the and in thing. It's filed to his blog is filed to and in. Um, so he's at
Good
least
for
being
him. He knows how to laugh at
self-deprecating with
himself.
that. Yeah, he said that, oh, and I made a typo at the end of the email. On the upside, some of the jokes to come out of it have been pretty funny, a rarity for Gamergate. The Captain N comparison made me laugh out loud. I hope that one sticks. Hashtag and in. The first person to comment said, sorry you're so caught up in it, buddy. Hopefully it'll be over soon. He's why this is happening. So caught up in it, he put his penis in something and he shouldn't have. And then his boss said, oh, it's okay. It's no big deal. That happens sometimes. That's. Come on. He is why this is happening. Like, it's not. He's not caught up in something. He's not somebody who's self inserted
He's
in
the
this.
center of the scandal.
And
He's
people
the
seem to
star.
forget that. It baffles me. What other wonderful comments do we? I love comment sections.
But no, can I just? There's something that you had mentioned that about Milo that's just killed me, and it was, and this is going to go back to it's actually something. Guess what, Nathan? Your fellow Zoe Fock partner said, Aaron said, about actually Milo. He said, say what you will about Milo, but unless Milo secretly humble and warm-hearted and polite on the inside, he is anything but duplicitous. So guess what, Nathan? You were telling us all these things about how awful Milo is. We already know. No one's oblivious to Milo. No one's oblivious to who Milo is. He writes for fucking Breitbart. Nobody's stupid. We know he's a tabloid journalist. We know what the things he does, and we know that he straddles that kind of that ethics line, because that's what tabloid journalists do. And there's nothing wrong with that. He's unapologetic about it. He knows who he is, or what he is, and that's fine. I respect him for knowing his field and then not really being caring to step out of it. That's good. But don't try and pretend like he's something he's not. He's a tabloid journalist. We all know it. Everybody knows it. Gamergate knows it. You know it. Everyone knows it. So I don't understand why exactly you're acting like he's this big secret thing and that he's leading Gamergate on. Bitch, he can't lead on shit. We all know what he's in it for. We all know that he started getting in this because it would get him publicity, and it has. We know that's one of the reasons why he stays in it. We also think that he might have actually started to care about gamers after a while, but that's of course secondary to the fact that he's a writer and a businessman at heart. We know this. This is not oblivious. We're not oblivious to this shit. You may think we're oblivious because secretly you don't know how to give credence and credit to anybody else in the world except you and your friends, but we're not morons. Surprise. We're not all like you. Sorry.
Yeah, I think the thing is though is they don't see how it's possible for us to not really give a fuck about someone's ideology.
I can tell you exactly how, guys. It's
Mm.
called there's this word in the dictionary. It's called nuance, and it's called
Mm-hmm.
balance, and it's called reason and logic. Reason and logic don't fall on ideological lines. Sure, there might be a saying that reality might have a slight liberal bias, and I kind of might agree with that. But that's politicizing an apolitical subject for the sake of jokes. That's not
Yep.
serious.
Yep.
Okay. Did it?
What else do you got to say, Socks?
I have
Nothing. Like,
I have
go
something to say.
ahead, Optimus.
I am about to blow little Miss Nathan out of the water. I'm gonna say little Miss because I don't care. Um, the term where he says I want to share it with a small group of friends. Yeah. I'm just going to play around on my Facebook for a second, and pretend like I'm writing a post, and I want to say to friends. I do have other options, only to me. I can customize that and put them in a group or whatever. But if I was just going to say friends, right? That would be sharing it with the, let me see. It's been a while since I've been on Facebook, so forgive me. I have 104 friends, right? So,
Pleb.
yeah, okay, I'm a pleb. Okay, that's fine. But I have 104 friends. It would share that with my 104 friends, right? Okay, then. Nathan Grayson has 541 friends. That's
What
not a small group, you fucking idiot.
You're a whore. Not an actual like sex whore. I mean, you might be that too,
Yeah.
but you're just a friends whore.
Yeah, and I mean, that's fucking ridiculous. It's like, I was just sharing it with a small group of friends. No, the fuck you won't. You were fucking showing off.
Sorry, hold on, Wayne. I gotta go quickly find my university's tag thing and share my sex life in there because that's just a small group of friends, right?
Yeah, that's a small group of friends. Yep.
I have 42 friends on Facebook.
Oh, me
Sucks, you have so
too.
few friends. You're so tiny.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I have exactly 42 as well, and I get sort of stressed when people want to add me because I'm like, that means I have to cut someone.
Wow. I'm
how
probably
many?
the most friends out of
Okay,
everybody
let's
here.
see what Facebook Master Nick has. How many do you have?
253.
Oh,
Wow, I would get overwhelmed.
No. And I have five friend requests. When did they come from?
Stranger
A
dangers.
bunch of these are strangers.
no. The point I'm trying to make is like I was just sharing it with a small group of friends. When is 541 people fucking small?
Well, compared to the 40,000 Milo has, obviously tiny.
Yeah. Oh, but let's not forget that. Like, okay, how many followers does he have on Twitter? I'm just gonna I'm just gonna toss this around here.
Nathan?
I, yeah, Nathan.
1 second. I was
Like
literally
30,000, I think. Which, surprise, surprise, it's more than Milo has.
Oh, I just thought of something else.
Wait,
Consider
how many followers on Twitter does Nathan
Nathan.
have?
Nathan,
Yeah.
yeah.
6,539.
Oh, he's small. He's a small one.
Okay, well, let's throw this another way. There we go. Let's look at the human Motley Alexander.
Mm.
See, she's smart. She don't show who she only shares with friends. She's not a dummy. She don't put her stuff out in public. Like I can't even see her friends list. Well, maybe I can. Yep, no friends to show. She's no dummy. She knows.
Anyway,
What I'm trying to say is, if she's commenting on that, then her followers would probably see it. Yeah. So it's not like this is like just a tight group of people that only the 541 people. Eventually, everybody was there was a lot of people who would probably end up seeing it because once again, I say Nathan Grayson, you're a fucking moron. So, yeah.
I think
No.
we've established that. And then.
I made a mess. Sorry.
I don't understand. Lee Alexander blocked me on Twitter. Wah, wah.
Did you make a
Actually,
at any point?
I'm
say
going to do
anything
experiment.
her?
Let's see if she blocked me, because I actually sent her well wishes on her birthday, because a lot of people were doing that, and I thought, you know what, fine, we'll just do that.
Anyway, today is the day of Remy blocking. But it's just really disheartening to see professionals act. Are you blocked?
Yep,
Congratulations.
see.
So she's using the bot.
she must be.
But
Yep,
yeah,
she is because I'm blocked too. Yep, go ahead.
it's really disheartening watching people who potentially could improve themselves. I mean, there is the chance that these journalists could learn and do better. Now, I was just looking at Nathan's timeline and he's like tweeting Zoe's blog and all of this other stuff. So clearly, Nathan isn't one of these people that's going to live and learn.
Lay
But
could have been. I really feel she could have been.
but she's so no.
Once upon a time, not now.
But and to just watch them actually dealing with somebody who is a journalist and he might be a tabloid journalist, but he's still a journalist and who is good at what he does. As much as we might not like all of his politics or anything else, it's still like I feel little twinges of pity isn't the right word, but it's just like ouch. Did you really just embarrass yourself that badly in public?
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. Absolutely, absolutely
It's
amazing.
so mind blowing.
It's I just don't understand, and these people. These are the people who, for years, we were supposedly depending on to be the protectors of the gaming culture. and they can't
Not the
even.
culture, the industry.
Well,
Mhm.
the industry, the culture, it kind of goes both ways. I mean, I say they rightly did a good, I think, and of course, some of these people weren't in the industry at the time, but I think they rightly did their, due diligence with Jack Thompson, and that was protecting not just the industry but the consumer as well.
Yeah.
Now they don't give a shit about the consumer, because
No.
they know better than the consumer. That's what's really irking me. Like the whole, of course we know, goddamn, bringing up gamers are dead again, but that whole, was it the hyper consumer? What is that? I'd like to buy stuff. Oh God, Jesus, guys, stop me! I like to buy things.
Mhm.
You're obviously a Satanist. Obviously. If you like to buy things,
Hmm.
that makes you evil.
Well, I for one welcome our new satanic overlords if it means I get more vidya.
But Jesus, Wayne, Jesus.
Y'all, I ain't gonna say that. You know
You
what I was
totally.
about to say. You know what I was about to say, but I'm not gonna
I know
say
exactly what you're about to say. I'm glad you didn't.
it.
Would have been very bad.
Okay, what's next?
Next topic is Notch, and he's waffling but turning out fairly okay on Twitter. It was an odd battle of, developers that I care about having a go at one another. We had Adrian, who I feel sort of
And
weird.
she's a feeding Carter, Adrian.
Yes, but I feel Adrian is quick to say that he speaks only for himself and that the rest of his team has not expressed an opinion either way on Gamergate. But we had absolutely beautiful, wonderfully bearded Adrian, and Notch having of Minecraft. Everybody knows who Notch is, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
um, Having a back and forth in which Notch did, and a lot of people do this. They said he wrote things in 140 characters, and it was very sort of dismissive. And gaming journalism doesn't matter, and ethics in gaming journalism doesn't matter. They've never been ethical, so why do we even care? Everybody shut up. Sort of dismissive thing.
Yeah.
And then said that he's not picking sides, even though to me, reading that as somebody who actually cares about ethics in gaming journalism, I read that as picking sides. You can't help but, take it at that. I don't follow Notch, but then a bit after that all occurred, Adrian popped up on my stream with props to Notch. The man has $100 billion, does not need to play by anybody's rules, but still said my bad on Twitter. So Notch was apologetic and said, "Look, that's not really what I meant. I was being flip and dismissive, and I shouldn't have been." And admitted that poor reviews have actually hurt him in the past, so he knows how important this stuff is.
Obviously not enough. It was $800 billion. I mean, well, $100 billion. Mm.
But still, good for him to,
Turn.
have the care to turn it around and do the right thing.
Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh
Um,
my gosh!
yeah, you're looking at the same thing I am, probably. That is really,
Trophies!
yeah,
Aw, I love it.
that is really
What
good.
happened?
People drew art for us.
Hmm.
Thank you so much, Tanch. That is
Yeah,
very, very
Tosh,
super sweet.
that is really, really awesome. I like that. That's
Where
awesome.
is it and why can I not see it?
It's
It's
on
on your.
Twitters and you're tagged in
Oh,
it, you silly man.
Mhm.
But um
I so silly.
but
Mhm.
yeah,
Ooh, I like it.
I don't even know. I've never looked to Notch as much of a leader or a person in the industry I particularly respected. I mean, I love Minecraft, don't get me wrong, but this is the first time I've ever really paid attention to the stuff that he says to his 2 million followers on Twitter. Holy God.
Yep.
Um,
Notch blows all of us out of the water. Everyone combined.
Yay.
But to make a comment on this, and I was set, it was lock, stock, two smoking barrels. I was about to unleash the beast, but I've toned it down a little bit. But I will go to the original statement where he said, like, paraphrasing, of course, uh, why are you worried about ethics? Gaming journalism has never been ethical. You guys need to quit harassing people. And I'm like, no, fuck you. I haven't harassed anybody. I'm tired of this general you bullshit. And I don't care if he kind of walked back his statement a little bit. That kind of shit needs to stop. And, the whole thing is like, well, journalism has never been ethical. And of course, the first thing I asked, well, who the hell have you been sleeping with? Because that's where we start, getting to that. Because by God, he can say what he will, but all I ever saw of Minecraft was positive press.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that was on basically the same sites that we have issue with now. So it kind of irks me that he would make a statement. If he walked it back and he said, that's not exactly what he meant. He cares about ethics, blah, blah, blah. That's fine. Where's the apology of calling everybody a harasser? Because that whole thing, that whole straw man is like, oh well, you identify as pro Gamergate, so you're obviously a harasser. No, or just like
I will
just like
admit
go ahead.
I am learning to be more aggressive and assertive on the social media thanks to the Gamergate scandal. So
Assertiveness and aggressiveness is not harassment, though.
it depends on who you talk to.
I'm
I
I'm I'm talking about
Remy, we're
Webster's
talking about
dictionary.
real and normal.
I'm talking about the in the Queen's English, Webster's dictionary's definition of harassment. It's
What
not.
are we talking about the Queen now for?
She's a
I'm-
wizard. What?
You're a
Oh
wizard now.
God, I love that David Icke makes me happy. Anyway, but not just exact words since I paraphrased were that wasn't an exaggerated phrasing because of Twitter. I've been burned by very poor journalistic ethics and generalized my bad. And a more important point is that I don't think they need to be as ethical as others. It's just entertainment and information. And then he tweets to PC Gamer. Um No, bless.
So
But
yeah.
it's hard. I feel like the rest of and I don't understand how it happens, but I sort of feel like a large part of the world is completely cut off from the things that we see. And I hate using the whole red pill thing, but it really feels like somehow we've managed to see a part of reality that everybody else has just completely blocked their eyes off to. Um, because Minecraft, it's a PC game. I mean, at its core, that's what it is. Yes, you can play it on the Xbox now, but it's a PC game. Not should with the nonsense about the PC Master Race. I'm fairly certain if I went through, he has to have used that term at least once in his life. And it's okay. It's no big deal. I'm just going to keep, moving along and tweeting with these people and acting like the media that reports on what I do is not completely stupid. So I don't understand it. I don't know how these people can be so blind to the insanity that goes on around them. That is their media.
Hmm.
Yep.
So, since speaking of media, should we talk about good news?
Do we have good news?
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
IGN.
IGN.
Oh, we do. I forgot. I'm the worst. Because it's IGN, my brain doesn't. It can't.
We don't.
You're
We're
saying,
still
wait,
getting used
IGN?
to
No, no, no.
associating
Yeah.
IGN with good things.
It's like IGN
Yeah.
ethics. What is this? What?
I know. I know. It's ridiculous how, we've entered some sort of parallel universe where IGN is the paragon of ethical journalism in video games.
And if anybody's really wants to hear Socks talk about it, that she did her video what came out yesterday.
No, it came out a couple days ago.
I'm pretty
Also,
sure for
keep
me it
in
was
mind
yesterday.
that Socks lives in the future. So.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure for me it was yesterday. So
Yeah, I did a Gamergate happenings recap a couple days ago where I talked about the IGN ethics policy and standards and practices that they published. It hits pretty much every single issue that Gamergate has taken with video game publications. So if you want to go watch that, you can go watch that. But we'll go over it now, I guess.
Yeah, we kind of, hit the high points. We got 15.
It's awesome.
Yeah, pretty much. That pretty much nails it right on
But
the.
to be the one to temper the happy things is what's
Debbie.
really important is not that they wrote it, because you can write something and say this is what our policy is, but actually seeing it in action and
Oh
seeing it
yeah.
being used properly is what's really going to count and make me like IGN.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
that
Yeah, I
doesn't
mean,
feel good coming out of my mouth.
I mean, we're talking. We are
it's
we are
so
talking
hard.
about we are talking
Oh
about the
dear.
same company that gave God Hand a 3 out of 10 and didn't play it. So,
Yeah.
Right?
and also, a good friend of mine years ago brought this to my attention. Y'all remember the game Eternal Darkness on the GameCube?
Yeah.
They did a review for Eternal Darkness, and they went on for like an entire paragraph about this system that was in the game that wasn't in the game.
So,
And
but we're at the stage now where they've published the policy, and now we're just gonna watch
Yep.
yep,
and make sure they enforce it
yep,
and call them out when they don't.
yep. And you can and see, and then that point, because now they have a policy in place, you can point to their policy and say, "Wait a minute, according to your policy, this is wrong. What's
Yeah.
going on in here, And I've seen a few people say, "Well, I don't really think it has anything to do with what happened with Gamergate." I'm like, you're retarded, because IGN has been in existence since the 90s when they used to be called N64.com, and they have never
Mhm.
until just a couple of weeks ago had an ethics policy.
A week ago.
It was a couple of weeks.
Damn it, Wayne. Okay.
Yeah, I think it was right before the new year.
It came out on the 30th of December.
Yeah, so right
Okay.
before the new year. So
Yep.
yeah.
Fair enough.
So right, like you can't tell me that after 20 years, just about 20 years of God knows 20 years, 20 years of basically kind of winging it when it comes to the journalist thing, that they finally adopted an ethics policy just because they felt like it.
Nothing to do with Gamergate, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, IGN
Right.
woke up one day and was like, what am I going to do today? You know
I know
what?
what happened. I know.
I might adopt an ethics policy for fun. Okay.
So what happened was, I don't know if he's still in charge, but he was their ESE. I don't know if he still is or not. Tal Blevins. He was when I used to read him regularly. I'm just going to use him for example because I always liked Tal. I thought he was always, pretty neat guy. I just imagine he just woke up one morning and, Margaret Gell was standing in his room and she went, haha, time for ethics. And he went, okay.
That's exactly what happened. Margaret Gell in all of her shortness stood
Yeah.
in his room and was just like, be ethical.
Time for
like,
ethics.
Okay. Oh, delightful. Yep, but that was probably not probably.
Mm-hmm.
If it pans out, that's a great victory for Gamergate. It's a great victory in general because you know what? Ethics are important, and it's good to see people starting to adhere to them. More of that will be great.
Well, and the Escapist has done wonderful with their policy and holding up to it. So one can hope that IGN will do the same.
God, the demon of gaming culture. IGN is actually becoming a paragon of virtuous ethics.
Yeah, and it's really, I noticed your hesitation.
Yes.
You're like, IGN and ethics.
Exactly.
What is ethics? How does it work?
I know.
Well, and IGN has had, there's been Greg Miller left IGN.
Could be unrelated.
And I wholly believe that it is unrelated, but it's showing what the shift in gaming media really is. The fact that he left what everybody admitted and that they publicly admit was a really sweet job, to go basically be YouTubers. There's a huge shift in what is being seen as a viable form of gaming media and review. So I think that these old behemoths really are going to have to start making, in some cases, drastic changes to keep up.
Hmm. Guys, I know what it was. I know what it was. So you see, IGN's wanted an ethics policy since day one. The problem was the person they had ready to write the ethics policy was an infant then. And they
Oh,
were doing the whole game where they try and put the round hole in the round spot and the square hole in the square spot and the triangle spot hole in the triangle spot. They were trying to do that, but they were trying to put the square spot in the triangle spot the whole time, and that was the ethics spot. Until finally they were 20 and they were just able to push it in so hard that it broke the whole thing.
they broke ethics.
Yeah, they broke. IGN broke ethics, and it got ethics that way.
So eventually, basically, what you're saying is they somehow did a entire 360 and came back to ethics.
You know why they call it an Xbox 360? Because you'll turn around 360 degrees and walk away. Ah, la, 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 la.
Okay. Wow. But it's kind of funny. It's like and especially in IGN's case, because we've all talked. We've all know of their impropriety. We talked about them before. I mentioned the 3 out of 10
Yes.
God Hand review. The fact that it's like it took them 20 years. Like, well, we've tried everything else, guys. What do you think? Hey, yeah. What do you want? Maybe we should try that ethics thing. Is this crazy enough to work? Write an ethics policy on it. So,
Yeah.
and the fact it was a good ethics policy. Like I said, I can't.
Great ethics policy.
It's got to. We got to
It's
see
good.
what It's got to see how it bangs out. But as far as the way it is written, it is excellent.
Mhm.
And like Sock said in her video, it hit every major point that Gamergate has been talking about.
Yep.
So
It is a beautiful thing. And just to shill something that before we start to wrap stuff up, don't forget reminder that I have going right now. It is pinned at the top of my Twitter. Basically, and it doesn't just have to be at Intel, but remind media outlets, remind everybody who John McIntosh is and the things that he tweets and the horrible, nasty stuff that he says. People look at Anita and are like, oh, small, somewhat attractive woman, depending on, what you go for, and feel lots of sympathy and love, and they don't think of the nasty, nasty that is standing behind her and in some cases beside her with her message. So while Anita tweets things that are kind of, he's outright hateful and icky. And we need to keep signal boosting that because he doesn't have a huge follower count and he doesn't put himself out there as much as she does, but he is so much a part of her machine. So just remember, continue to signal boost, not just to each other, because we love to point out how silly Josh McIntosh is, but also to mainstream media and anybody who will listen and look at the insanity that is that man.
Mm-hmm. And hopefully someday, he'll be properly medicated and be able to rejoin society.
Or he
properly medicated.
Or tried and convicted of the con job artist he is, and will never ever hurt people again.
he blocked me,
He blocked me too 3 times.
but I'm nice. I wasn't
Josh-
nice to him though. I got really hot. I was mad.
I'm never.
Or
nice to
Remy,
Josh.
of course you got Remy.
I tried when he blocked me for saying that the reason why major publishing and developing companies aren't coming out in support of his bullshit message was because he is full of lies and pseudoscience, and we are full of money. Which is why they won't go against us, is because we are full of money. Delicious, delicious money.
Well, it's not like he
Anyway.
doesn't know. He doesn't.
Socks,
It's not like he
stop
doesn't.
it. You're making me hungry for a big old bowl of money.
I know, right?
It's
I'm
not
gonna
like
go
he
catch some
doesn't.
ones and eat them, which up here is loony coins, so it'll be I'm gonna be chewy
It's not
full
like
on.
he doesn't know what money is because he comes from money. So it's kind of weird that he doesn't know how
No,
capitalism
he
works.
doesn't. He doesn't know how money works because he comes from money.
What is this
Um,
capitalism? How does it work? Of
And
he's had the
he's tweeting defending the Hotline Miami ban.
course
Oh,
he is.
bless.
yeah. That was on his fucking hit list. That
Yep.
was on his fucking hit list. Remember when he said that Hotline Miami was super gross and misogynistic and violent and trying to teach kids to be like drug lords or something? I don't know. I'm putting words into Josh's face now.
Trying
But
to teach kids to be drug lords because don't you know that's where all the druggies get their thing is like, oh man,
he didn't
I
actually say that.
played that Grand Theft Auto game, and you know what? I know how to work the streets, man. I know how to work the streets.
It
I
gets
know, right?
back to years ago. I was doing a I used to do a podcast back in the day, believe it or not.
What?
And
We're not your first podcast.
no, you're not. You're not. I'm sorry that I had previous life partners.
Much
But
pain, many wow.
yeah, but this was during the Jack Thompson thing, and me and my friend at the time, who I was doing the podcast with, we had a nice discussion about Jack Thompson and how the quote unquote murder simulator thing, and of course I met something about it trains these kids and to shoot and guns and the things, and I'm thinking, well, like right now I'm holding an Xbox 360 controller, and it doesn't look like a gun. Um, it doesn't, this is how I explained it then. It's like, doesn't look like a gun. It doesn't have the heft of a gun. It doesn't, feel like a gun. I don't know how this is, teaching a child how to shoot, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And a week later, Virginia Tech happened. And he made the course, he made the absolute statement on CNN saying, when somebody asked him, could this be about violence and video, about the violent video games? He said, of course it is. This is exactly what happened. Then you find out that the Virginia Tech shooter, the most violent game he played was Sonic the Hedgehog.
Hmm.
Not even Shadow the Hedgehog, that hadn't come out yet. So, when you're dealing with an ideologue like a Jack Thompson, like a Josh McIntosh, or and I really don't know if I want to call Anita ideologue, because she just kind of spouts what's given to her. So
No, you know what? Call her an ideologue.
I guess again,
I don't like this stuff that she's just a puppet. For fuck's sakes, because it makes me feel like we're getting into the same thing. Because almost like, well, of course, a woman couldn't possibly be just an ideologue. Yes, she fucking could. Give her the same treatment. If it turns out later she's not, then good for that. But she does not deserve exemption from criticism.
I didn't say she deserved exemption from criticism. I'm just like,
Oh no, I know.
as far as the labeling goes, because either way, I guess I mean, if you're going to say it, you might as well say it. Yes, she's an ideologue too. So, and then then you got people who kind of bandwagon off of that, like the Brianna Woos and people like that, who for most of them it's just to make, hey, how's a good way to make a quick fucking buck, So it that's basically what I had to say about Joshington McIntosh. That get back to emailing Intel, tell them who they're partnering with. Do an actual old school letter writing campaign. Let Intel know what kind of individuals that they are dealing with, because after the statements he made about Charlie Hebdo and things like that, they don't deserve that. The free market needs to know who Intel is using in their initiative, and the free market he needs to rise up and say no.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
I don't doubt it will.
and so that's what I think needs to happen, and that's where we need to go as far as Macintosh and feminist frequency.
Right, guys, it looks like we got about 4 minutes left. Although we did lose this. Well, we did reactivate the stream, so.
Yeah, I hope Remy can.
Yeah, it looks like.
Yes, I can splice
Okay.
the bits
I said-
together.
I
We
said,
should. It is about wrap up time.
Mhm.
Oh, I don't like the. Oh, hi, dog splained. Heart you. So I guess final thoughts. Do we want to start with the lovely socks? Did she go to sleep? Did she run away?
Better not of.
Soxakun. Sock,
Socks.
Sock Senpai.
Okay, fine. Tag off. We'll go to Optimus. You first.
Well, final thoughts is basically everything that I said, to condense it down into one thing. Uh, be the change that needs to happen. Don't wait for the media to do it for you. The only way this is going to change if the people rise up and say, no, you move. So yeah.
Fewer. Your turn.
Sorry, I have to explain to this dog-splained jerk that's pretty sure Socks already went to bed.
I don't think so. I
Went
think she's
to
here.
bed,
It's just
actually.
It is middle of day, so she's probably not. She is probably having Australian internet right now because that is really a thing.
And she did say she's tired, but yes, she's probably doing that. All right. So I am at Few Afrayut. You can follow me on the Twitters, on the Twitter, as Rick Perry says. You can also find me on Steam, because same name as this. And yeah, everything Wayne said, be the change that we want to see in the world. Be louder. I'm gonna stick with that point from last week too. Be louder, because your speech is important, and you need to. That's how you're gonna change the world. And yeah, and stuff. Remy, all yours.
It's my turn. As always, everybody be good to each other. I know that everybody is frustrated. We have had 4 long months, and it looks like we are nowhere near stopping. I am super grateful to Nightline and to Nathan and to Juju and everybody who has gotten us fired up, and it feels like the beginning of September again, and I love it. And I look forward to many more months of fighting the good fight with everybody. Be
And
safe.
happenings.
I love happenings, but be safe, make a difference, be gentle with each other, and we will see you guys in a week.
Before we go, Socks, are you back? If you're not, then we're going to go cut out.
Socks. I don't think Socks is here, but I feel
Okay.
like if she is, she would say her Twitter handle is @Renaxis. She is a wonderful, sweet-hearted Australian with a vocabulary that will cut you in half because she's sharp. And she will see you on the Twitterverse and the YouTubes. So,
Night, everybody.
good night, ladies and gentlemen. Have fun.
Fairly well.